I don't know, 50 right now. Good sweater weather. So last night, I started to get the sleepers in here. These are just braces, mostly to hold this band joist vertical and straight while I, lay the other sleepers. But I was also pulling off of this in order to locate where these joists go. So these are final installation of the crawl space framing, including the joists that are going to be receiving the bolts from the L6 beam that stretches from about there over to somewhere in here. It's 8 feet 6 foot long, 8 feet 6 inches long. And the center is going to be right around in this joint here somewhere. Unfortunately, the right edge of this joist is about 3/8 inches too far that way. So I'm going to have to sister up 2 bis along here to give the plywood something to nail to if the edge falls on this joist somewhere. But other than that, everything worked out pretty well. I re-shimmed this. I had some cedar planks you use for cooking fish in a grill, and they were perfect thickness to build up the shims for that. I started using my new nailer. See the compressor there? Pretty hefty nailer. Driving the 16Ds for framing. It's pretty, takes about 110 PSI in order to drive a 3.5 inch through 2 bis. These 2 bis here are actually from the original house. They are much harder wood. So even at full pressure, what I'm using for the 16Ds, it won't quite drive through one of these and another soft pine. So I got to hammer them in. Anyway, going well. Hope to have an inspection tomorrow for all this framing and the piers. Whoops. And the piers that I poured last time. And then we can start insulating. All right, so we're finally ready for framing inspection. I added all the blocking. I added the vertical grained blocks to carry the load of the 2x6 assembled columns that are going to support second floor, basically the roof, the ridge beam. Those go here, and then there's another one down here. So those are going to support the main columns on each side of the drywall, the door wall that goes here. And then I've got 4 bays worth. This is the insulation meant for this area to begin with. I'll use up lots of this old insulation and this insulation here for under me, which is where it came from. It also came from under here at 2-foot joist spacing. But so if I need to make another run next week to get more insulation, I can. But next job, so the inspector can't come. They never got my request for today. So they're coming tomorrow. In the meantime, I can try and push this I-beam that way. This is currently in the way of what would be the main beam. The main beam is going to go in an area about here. It's 10 inches wide, almost centered on the siding sheathing that you can see on the second floor there. So this beam needs to go over, and I'll show you where the room for that is. All right, so this is the inside end of that beam. Right now it's resting on these 2x4s behind this wallboard. It can slide 15 inches that way maximum. The new beam that's going to replace this guy actually goes almost to this corner here. So whether this beam would have supported the new design or not, it's like a foot and a half too long, too short. So that's why we can't use this beam. So the new beam is going to run from where the end of this is right now all the way to this corner, and then there'll be a column coming down behind that corner and attaching to the foundation of the chimney, which is right behind here. So let's make a frame so I can hold up a jack and try and jack this thing this way. All right, so that didn't work. Completely blew out this end bearing place here. And then I tried to pry it with a pry bar, sticking it up between here and there, and it broke the stick. So what I'm going to try next is to jack up under here to take load there, just to try and lift the entire floor up a little bit to reduce the loads actually sitting on this beam. There's nothing sitting on the beam on this end. There's air under it, but or above it, but clearly down here there's load. So let me see if I can try to reduce some of the resting load on this guy, just so I can slide it that way about a foot. All right, problem solved. I was actually able to cut through the I-beam with a combination of metal cutting disc right there and Sawzall over there. This metal cutting blade here from from Harbor Freight. Hercules comes in a pack of 3, I think. It actually cut through the webbing of that, which is about 1/4 of an inch, very quickly. I was actually quite impressed with that blade. So the trouble is getting the wood out from above. So when I do the other guy, I'm gonna cut the wood out first, and then just cut vertically down with the Sawzall blade. The grinder, it works. It's faster, but it sprays sparks everywhere, of course, and it stinks. So I'm sure I'm inhaling all kinds of poisonous disc gases that are coming off that thing. So I think I'd rather go slow with the metal cutting blade. This took me probably 40 minutes to cut through that whole thing. So I'm happy with that. That way, this post now I'll keep in place. And of course, this beam can stay here until I'm ready to tear apart this part of the second floor, which is phase 2. And now these guys really are doing nothing, or they don't have to do anything. I could take out these diagonals, these 2 diagonals, and be satisfied that these posts are holding up the entire second floor, at least on the riverside. Anyway, I think it's time for dinner. All right, so I'm going to wrap up this week. I just got to clean up this mess here. This mess is from opening up the roof to make way for the beam. So in order to put the beam in, all I have to do is cut down these, well, maybe just the one piece of sheathing there. Got to go maybe 10 inches from where the painted edge ends over, and those 2 top plates need to be removed, and the top of these posts here, which aren't supporting any weight at the moment. So once I cut those pieces of wood out, then I have the entire span of the beam opened up so I can put it in place. I'm planning on building a couple frames, one on each end, that I can use to support the beam as I jack it up. That'll be explained in detail much later, probably January. And then actually passed inspection for all of this framing. So next time I come down, which probably won't be for 2 weeks, but I can insulate. And so right now we got rain coming today, so I'm going to button this up, clean up this mess, and get out of here. Anyway, thanks for watching.